chapter 13, verse 3. So after they had fasted and they had prayed, they placed their hands on them and sent them off. The video we're going to be watching is Silliest Ways People Have Died.
John Allen Chau. In November 2018,
I love how they just immediately get into it.
Allen Chau, an American Christian missionary, illegally traveled to North Sentinel Island to...
Oh, I heard about this. A lot of people joke, I've heard a lot of atheists joke about this. The thing is, I don't think he cared if he died. I think that he was willing to give them, this information, even if they didn't understand it. He believed that... Not believed. He wanted to give them this information. He wanted to teach them about the Bible. So this is sad. And yes, I agree. It is a very silly way. You know, people on the North Sentinel Island, it's not that they are demons. It's that they don't understand. You gotta realize that. They don't understand at all. When he's speaking, they are, nervous. They're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Excuse my language. They're like, what is this guy doing here? Oh my god. A perfect example is the Joe Bart clip where he's just like, I don't know, wah 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 wah. That's literally all they hear. They're like, what is this guy doing? So yeah, I mean, of course, he died because he tried to spread the gospel to people who didn't understand him and were very protective over their land and their people.
Contact and live among the Sentinelese, an isolated indigenous group, so he could convert them to Christianity. On the 15th of November, Chau paid local fishermen to take him to a point between 1,600 and 2,300 feet from the island's shore, so he could continue to the island by kayak. As he approached, he attempted to communicate with the island.
Okay, where did he get the kayak? Wait, what?
And offer gifts, but he pulled back after facing hostile responses. On another visit, the islanders reacted to him with a mixture of amusement, bewilderment, and hostility. He sang worship songs to them and spoke to them in Xhosa. They either fell silent or laughed hysterically. When he tried to hand over fish and gifts, a boy shot a metal-headed arrow that pierced the Bible he was holding close to his chest. After that, he retreated again. On his final visit, on the 17th of November...
That was God telling him he shouldn't go back. The Bible had just saved his life. Let that sink in. The Bible had just saved his life, and he went back, and sadly passed away.
Chau told the fisherman...
Chau almost said I didn't mean to spoil it. This is how this man actually died.
To leave without him. The fisherman later saw the islanders dragging Chau's body, but his remains were never recovered. 7 fishermen were later arrested for taking Chau to the island illegally. Joseph Smith.
Dang.
It was January 22nd, 2023, in Sumner County, Kansas. Joseph Smith, a plumber, decided to go hunting with a friend and his friend's shepherd dog when
Okay, I'm getting the feeling that him being a plumber has nothing to do with the story, but...
a tragic incident occurred. They loaded the dog and the guns into the backseat of the truck and headed into the woods.
Wait, were they real guns? Did he say they were real guns?
Joseph Smith, a plumber, decided to go hunting with a friend and his friend's shepherd dog when a tragic incident occurred. They loaded the dog and the guns into the backseat of the truck and headed into the woods. While Joseph sat in the passenger seat, the dog accidentally stepped on the trigger.
I didn't expect him to say that. I thought he was gonna say maybe the dog, he accidentally scared the dog attacked him or something. I don't know. The dog accidentally shot the man. God bless America. How do you even let that happen? Why are you not holding the gun? Why is the gun not on safety in the car? What?
Causing the rifle to discharge and shoot Joseph in the back. Emergency response units arrived within minutes and attempted to revive him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. An initial investigation examined whether the dog was at fault, but the sheriff's office ruled the shooting an accident and closed the case. The dog was not harmed. Frank Cable. In January 2014...
Wait, okay, say you're the owner of the dog. What do you even do at that point? Are you like, damn, Sparky really just killed my best friend? Or are you like, damn, I really wish he put the gun on safety? Are you blaming your dog? Because they said the dog was unharmed. So I'm guessing he didn't, put the dog down. What do you do at that point? How are you supposed to feel? You probably feel guilty. At least your dog killed your friend. Or wait, maybe no. I think that was his friend's dog. I think that'd be kind of crazy. My dog killed my friend. Damn.
Frank Cable, a 35-year-old Zimbabwean evangelical pastor, had a revelation that told him that with enough faith, he could achieve what Jesus was able to do. He gathered his congregation and told them that he was capable of reenacting the very miracles of Jesus Christ. He decided to walk on water like Jesus did, so he took his congregation out to the beach in Libreville, the capital city of Gabon. He told them that he would cross the Gabon estuary on foot, a distance of 7 miles that normally takes 20 minutes by boat. As he stepped into the water, his right foot sank immediately. Sadly, by the second step into the water, Cabell found himself completely submerged and ultimately drowned. Archduchess
You step into the water, you're like, huh, my feet didn't touch the ground. Let me just put my other foot in. What? You just drowned yourself. What? Why? What? I understand that he thought that with enough faith he could walk on water like Jesus did. And to an extent, you know, there was a story where a guy in the Bible, I haven't fully read the Bible. I'm not sure who this was. He was talking about like Jesus was like helping him walk on water, and when he started losing faith or when he started getting scared, that's when he started sinking. He was walking on water, and like, you know, there's stories about it. So I mean I believe that it could have been possible at some point or with enough, maybe with enough faith. But I just think it's not. You really can't do what Jesus could do. To put it like that. You can't do what Jesus could do.
Matilda of Austria. It was May 22nd, 1867, at Hetzendorf Palace in Vienna. 18-year-old Archduchess Matilda Marie Adelgunde Alexandra of Austria had put on a...
It sounds like a spell from Harry Potter. Hezeldorf. Not even that. It sounds like a house from Harry Potter. My fault. I didn't hear what you said.
Of Austria. It was May 22nd, 1867. I was thinking about the fact that it said Matilda, and the fact that they said Hezeldorf. At Hetzendorf Palace in Vienna. 18-year-old Archduchess Matilda Marie Adelgunde Alexandra of Austria had put on a gauze dress to go to the theater and then lit a cigarette. Soon she heard her father approaching, and she remembered that he had strictly forbidden smoking. So she hid the cigarette behind her, accidentally setting her
on fire. What is a gauze dress? Why was she wearing that? I mean, not saying that if she was wearing anything else, it wouldn't have still caught on fire, but I think gauze is more flammable, right? I don't know.
Highly flammable dress on fire. Her back, arms, neck, and legs were severely burned before the fire could be extinguished. She suffered second and third degree burns over her entire body. Parts of her dress had melted into her skin, and she ultimately died of these injuries 2 weeks later. Her entire family witnessed her death. Wayne Roth.
Oh my...
On November 8th, 1997.
Yeah, so what I can already tell you what's about to happen. Wayne Roth wanted to do what a lot of people do and take the poison. A lot of people take, like, snakes. Like, even, I think in Japan people do this too. They, like, put it in a jar, mix it with whiskey, and, like, let it sit, and then take the snake out and then drink it, because the poison makes it, like, more, it gets them, like, more buzzed. I bet this guy tried to do that. He took the snake, probably tried to put the poison in the cup, drank the poison, and died. Or the snake bit him when he was trying to put the poison in the cup and killed himself.
38-year-old Wayne Roth went to visit his friend Roger Croteau in Jenkins, Pennsylvania. While drinking beer and getting high with his friends, he decided to grab his friend's pet cobra from a reptile tank nearby. He was instantly bitten in the right hand by the cobra, so his friend Roger suggested that they go to a hospital and insisted on taking him there.
Suggested? I think we should go to the hospital, bro. His hand is fully swollen up.
Wayne had other plans. He said he did not need to go to the hospital. He was going to handle it like a man. He asked to be taken to a local bar instead. While drinking there, he bragged about being bitten by a snake to everyone. Unfortunately, though, cobra venom is slow-acting. He felt unwell within 3 hours of being at the bar and died shortly afterwards while being driven to the hospital by his friend. A toxicology report showed that Roth's blood alcohol content was 0.354, over 3 times the legal limit in the state. And
I'm gonna say this, and I'm so serious by saying this. I think that if he was bit by that snake when he wasn't drunk, he would survive, because he wouldn't have freaked out. The alcohol, I believe, is what caused his death. I believe. I'm so serious. I don't think he would have died from that snake if he were not drunk. I'm gonna say it. I really don't think that, and here's why. So what alcohol does, right, is it makes so. When you're drinking alcohol, it makes your blood, like, I think either thinner or thicker. It makes it move faster. It makes your heart pound faster, you know. It gets you drunk, right? It messes with your mind, all that. It mixes with your nervous system, mixes with your, I'm sure it messes with more of your systems. What I'm saying is, I think his blood was pumping a lot faster, and it was pumping that poison into his veins before his whatever cells fight it off could fight off the poison.
And that controlled opiate substances were present. The official cause of death was listed as cardiorespiratory failure due to drug overdose. Luciano Ray.
What did I tell you guys? Well, yo, I just caught that. It was the mixture of alcohol and poison.
Ciccone. On January 18th, 1977, 28-year-old Lazio footballer Luciano Ray Ciccone, along with his teammate Pietro Guedin and another friend, decided to stage a fake robbery in Bruno Tabacchini's jewelry.
Why? This is literally how this would play out. All right, Bob. Remember the script, okay? All right. Put your hands in the air. And then when he says that, some guy's gonna be like, "Oh, holy shit, that guy's getting arrested." Pop, kills him. What? You're living in like the early 1900s. What do you think is gonna happen? You could bring a gun to like on a plane at that time. Of course, it makes somebody carrying a gun instead of a mall and they shoot you. What were they? Why? Why would you? What do you even gain from faking a robbery?
Jewelry store in Rome. They believed it would be a hilarious prank. The trio masked up and stormed into the shop, shouting that it was a robbery. Unbeknownst to them, the store had been robbed just days earlier, and the owner...
Oh my god, not even that. The dude who... They didn't even know the guy who owned the store, so they were faking it. Or maybe this is their friend, and they were playing a prank on him. So this dude immediately is getting robbed. He's like, damn, I already just got robbed. All my money's gone. Let me kill these guys. Like, come on. Oh my god. Yeah, like I said, everybody back in the day used to own a gun. And you could bring it anywhere.
Bruno Tabacchini had armed himself as a precaution. When the masked men entered, Tabacchini did not hesitate as he aimed his gun at Ray Ciccone's accomplice, who immediately dropped his weapon and raised his hands. But Ray Ciccone was committed to the prank and continued acting.
I don't know about you, but if somebody's aiming a gun at me while I'm fake robbing them, I'm putting the gun down. I'm not just gonna be like, they're not gonna be like, come on, man, you're not gonna do this, not this time. While he's holding AK-47 at me, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I am, buddy. What if a fucking water gun? Aim at him. One of those are real guns. Like, what? This guy has to be an idiot. This is like the silliest way to die. That's literally one of the dumbest ways to die. Come on, why are you... You're aiming a fake gun at... Well, I'm assuming it's a fake gun. Probably wasn't. You're aiming a gun at a guy who you're pranking and expecting him not to shoot you. You're like acting like you're about to...
Tabacchini fired, hitting Luciano. Ray Ciccone's last words were reportedly, "It's a joke. It's only a joke." But it was too late. The gunshot wound was so severe that he died just 30 minutes later at the age of 28, leaving behind his wife and 2 children. Bruno Tabacchini was arrested and held for 18 days before being released.
What? Then why did they let him have the gun? So, well, okay, maybe it was illegal. Maybe it was illegal to bring a gun in, like have a gun as a store owner. I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me. I'm going to jail because somebody decided they want to prank me by playing a prank by fake robbing me. What else am I gonna do? Oh, all right, man. Here, take my stuff. Take my bottle, if you will. Like, what? No, I mean, if he has a gun for a reason, obviously he was going to eventually use it if he felt like he was being threatened. I mean, he's playing some, I don't know.
Released without charge. Judge Severino Santiapici declared that the death was the result of self-defense and a terrible accident.
Oh, okay. All right. Makes sense. Okay, so he went to jail. Okay, so. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Hoy. On July 9th, 1993, Gary Hoy, a Canadian lawyer, was working in his office on the 24th floor when his secretary asked him to give a tour of the office to a group of law interns. While showing...
Yo, this one was in 100 or 1,000 Ways to Die. He jumps at the window because he thinks it's not gonna break. He's like, oh, there's a window. He jumps into it, shatters, and he dies. Watch.
The interns around, he attempted to demonstrate the strength of the building's window glass by slamming himself into a window. He had performed this stunt many times before, bouncing off the glass. After one successful attempt, Hoy tried again. In this instance, the force of his impact removed the window from its frame, causing both the intact window and Hoy to fall from the building. He fell 24 stories to his death. Alejandro Casares and Roberto Moreno.
That was in A Thousand Ways to Die, which actually traumatized me when I was. Yo, tell me, anybody who's ever seen A Thousand Ways to Die, tell me that's not the most traumatizing thing you've ever seen. So they're talking about, oh, and he was poisoned. A snake crawled in his vent. It heated up, and he died from the poison of the snake. And this man's just bleeding out on the ground. Well, they always had blood in the scene, even if it had nothing to do with like dying from blood loss. Well, why? When you get poisoned, you're not bleeding out of your mouth. I mean, most of the time, maybe if it's like, I don't know, maybe you're throwing up your guts. I mean, you're most of the time when you're being poisoned or like breathing in poisonous gas, you're not breathing out of your mouth. I mean, not bleeding out of your mouth.
I know. It was May 24th, 2019, in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Two Texans, Alejandro Cazares and his friend Roberto Moreno, were driving south when they encountered a lifting bridge closed to vehicular traffic to allow boats to pass. With the safety gate down, Moreno exited the vehicle and pushed the gate arm up. Cazares then drove under the gate, picked Moreno up, and continued toward the ramp at the end of the bridge. They stopped briefly before Cazares placed the vehicle in reverse and accelerated forward in an attempt to jump the bridge ramp. The car became airborne, landed in the waterway, and sank to the bottom. Cazares couldn't.
Yo, this nigga thinks he's in Fast and Furious. Why would you ever try to? Yo, you know what, dude? You know, I think I could actually. I think I could clear this ramp. What do you think? Yeah, man, I think so too. Oh, I bet. Let's try it. What? You're driving the fucking Honda Civics. Come on, it's not gonna go. It's not. Come on, you knew it wasn't gonna go over the ramp.
Exit the vehicle, while Moreno was found outside the submerged car. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. Eric Barsha. It was July 12th, 1997, in Reston, Virginia. Eric Barsha, a 22-year-old fast food worker, decided to go bungee jumping on his day off. He couldn't find any place to practice bungee jumping in the area, so he figured he could do it himself. He chose a nearby railroad bridge in Lake Accotink Park, standing 70 feet high, as his jump-off point. He tied together a bunch of bungee cords, which turned out to be a few feet shorter than the height of the bridge. He headed to the jumping location, tied one end of the bungee cord around his leg, attached the other to the bridge trestle, and jumped. Yet the cords did not stop him above the ground. Eric failed to account for the cord's stretch, making the total length of the cords greater than the height of the bridge. He hit the ground with such force that he died instantly. Randy Lee Tenley. It was August 28, 2012, in Kalispell, Montana, when Randy Lee Tenley, a 44-year-old Montana native, decided to play a prank. Dressed in a military style.
It's always these fucking pranksters. Dude, we should totally, like, prank the fucking police by, like quickly pulling out our wallet. They're like, oh, where's your license registration? We should pull it out like that. Dude, that'll go well. That'll be hilarious.
Ghillie suit. He headed to the highway at night to provoke a Bigfoot sighting. A 15-year-old girl driving in the right-hand lane of U.S. Highway 93.
She did not run that man over. What? Okay, that's a silly way to go, but at the same time, why did she hit him with her car? If I saw Bigfoot, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's Bigfoot. Bam! Like, what? Who decides to hit? If I think Bigfoot's in front of me, I'm not gonna slam into him. I'm gonna probably like swerve around. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? What? Why are we slamming into Bigfoot?
Struck him, and as he lay in the road, a 17-year-old girl in another vehicle ran him over. Because it was a full-body suit made of camouflage fabric, the drivers had a hard time spotting him. He was pronounced...
Oh, they couldn't see him! That's... Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because it was probably at night. Oh, yo, she probably thought she ran over a deer or something, bro. Come to find out, she looked in her rearview mirror, dead guy.
Dead at the scene. Acton Beale. On May 15, 2011, at 4:30 a.m., Acton Beale, a 20-year-old from Brisbane, Australia, had been out drinking with a friend and planking, posing face down in various unusual spots on their way home. He decided on a more daring planking stunt and asked a friend to film it.
Oh, Chad, this was a trend back in the day, and a bunch of people were dying. They would, like, climb on top of tall things and, like, plank.
He went to the balcony of his 7th floor apartment and attempted to plank there. While trying to lie down on a fence on his balcony, he lost his balance and fell 70 feet, fatally injuring himself. The emergency response units arrived within minutes and attempted unsuccessfully to resuscitate him for 20 minutes. He died on the spot, becoming the first known death caused by planking. Edward...
Okay, they're doing it wrong. It's not... Okay, let me show you guys what planking is. Because they're making it seem like it's like, you know, when you, like, kind of go down like this. No, this is what people were doing back in the day. They were, like, laying straight on every... That hurts. But also because I'm a guy, and I just, like, put my nuts up to the... Anyways, planking... Why? Like, who... You're making yourself easier to fall off... I don't know, man. It's... What was a weird trend? I really hurt my stomach. Y'all hurt my balls and my stomach.
Archbold. In October 2012, Edward Archbold, a 32-year-old from West Palm Beach, Florida, decided to participate in an eating contest at Ben Siegel Reptile Store in Deerfield Beach. He had to eat as many live cockroaches, crickets, and worms as possible.
When I heard that, I immediately knew he was not about to be eating something normal. He choked on a fucking worm, probably.
So he could win a giant snake. He was competing against 30
Like a
other
real
participants,
snake?
but unlike them, who ate one insect at a time, he shoveled handfuls of crickets, worms, and cockroaches into his mouth and drank water to wash them down. He won the contest. No one else ate close to what he did. He immediately went to the bathroom to vomit, then became ill and collapsed in front of the store. Paramedics rushed
Was
to
it water poisoning, or maybe one of the bugs were venomous, or maybe just like kind of like stretched his stomach lining and ripped it? I don't know.
To the hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. About 30 people ate the insects, but authorities said none of the other contestants became ill. The death was ruled an accident caused by asphyxia due to choking and aspiration of gastric contents. Robert Overacker. On October 1st, 1995, 39-year-old Robert Overacker ventured to Niagara Falls, Canada to attempt an audacious stunt. For 7 years, Robert meticulously planned how to jump off Niagara Falls on a jet ski, not just for the thrill, but to raise awareness for the homeless in his native California. He believed this was a cause that desperately needed more attention, and a stunt as daring as seemed the perfect way to bring it. Although Robert thought he had prepared for the stunt, there was one critical oversight that would ultimately prove catastrophic. He planned to use a rocket-propelled
God, wait, I just realized he said he did this on the news. Imagine like brave guy is about to do this stunt off of Niagara Falls, and you just watch this guy like jump off the jet ski and just actually die. Yo, imagine watching that on TV. That's horrifying. These people are like dying, like other people are seeing these. They're dying in horrific ways.
Parachute to soften the fall. As he ventured into the Niagara River, the jet ski had the words "Save the Homeless" written on it. Shortly before going over the falls,
the parachute gets stuck in the water. Like, did it like get stuck in the rotor of the jet ski? What do you think is about to happen?
He let go of the jet ski and lifted his hands high into the air. In an instant, he vanished from sight as he went over the edge. His rocket-propelled parachute failed to open, and he fell to his death. Overacker's body was recovered the next day, and he was pronounced dead at Niagara General Hospital. His failed stunt was captured on video by a German tourist, Italian John Doe. It was April 19th.
So they didn't help.
2022, Easter Monday, Catalica, Italy.
So I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know I could speed it up by holding space. Wait, do you think they like still like donated to the homeless? Or do you think he just died and like they just like, oh Jesus. Okay. Well, it's over. Like, how do you think that actually like ended? Also, I just skipped.
Niagara General Hospital. His failed stunt was captured on video by a German tourist,
that's him.
Italian John Doe. It was April 19th, 2022, Easter Monday in Catalica, Italy, when an unidentified 46-year-old man, feeling thirsty, decided to sneak into the back of a closed market. He picked up a bottle of water from a tall stack of crates, causing the entire stack to collapse on top of him. Employees returned to the shop the next day and were confronted with a collapsed mess of crates. A few hours into the workday, they began sorting the collapsed stack. When they lifted the first crate, an arm emerged. It was immediately clear that a tragedy had taken place. Thanks to CCTV footage, the Italian police were able to reconstruct the final moments of the 46-year-old's life. Mike Hughes.
You died because you decided to steal something. What do you even, like, because it wasn't necessarily instant. Like, he didn't just get, and, right to the afterlife. He was there for, at least, 14 seconds getting crushed. In those last painful seconds, he was like, damn, man, I should have just drunk tap water.
On February 22nd, 2020, 64-year-old amateur rocket builder, Mad Mike Hughes, with the help of his partner Waldo Stakes, decided to reach an altitude of 5,000 feet while riding his homemade steam-powered rocket. Hughes was well known for his belief that the Earth was flat. He hoped to prove his theory by going to space. The test was a stepping stone.
Oh my god, he moved the ladder ended up causing the ship to do something and it killed him, right? What did you do? Wait, am I still alive? Okay, I'm still alive.
toward getting as close to space as possible. Mike propelled himself into the air and then crashed into the ground. The parachute, designed for landing, deployed too early and detached from the craft seconds after takeoff. Mike did not survive and was pronounced dead on impact.
Or maybe it's
If you
not.
liked this video, subscribe for similar ones.
That was well, I wouldn't say it's a W video, but it is at the same time. And it's like giving awareness that you should probably think more than once about what you're doing before you do it. That was a W video. Also, man. Imagine being the guy who, like, you know, you're like, oh, I'm gonna help the homeless. I'm gonna do this cool stunt, you know, like, you know, in the Red Bull commercials, you know, for that kind of charity. You're going to do it, and your fucking parachute doesn't open. You're one of the unlucky people whose parachute doesn't open. You don't have a second one. You're just. Then, like I was saying before, the guy who probably was getting crushed and was thinking, you know, about his life before, he was probably thinking, man, I really shouldn't have done this. Now I'm about to die. You're really calling yourself stupid in your mind. You're like, dang, I'm so stupid. I'm about to die. I should have had another parachute, or maybe the guy who had the punji cord. Dang, man, I should have just sat at home and played Fortnite. That, like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. But